Though often dismissed as grotesque figures in garish costumes, medieval jesters were far more complex than modern caricatures suggest. The jester, that curious figure of paradox, stood at the crossroads of humor and power, folly and wisdom. The word jester itself entered common English usage during the Tudor period, but the roots of this profession stretch much further back. Even before the Tudors, courts across Europe hosted figures variously known as fools, minstrels, or buffoons, individuals charged with entertaining kings, nobles, and their retinues. Some scholars have mistakenly traced the origins of court jesters to Ptolemy Soter, the Hellenistic king of Egypt, while others argue they evolved from Roman comedians. Certainly, the iconic jester's cap with its 3 dangling ends and jingling bells may have its origins in the Roman Saturnalia, a festival where order was inverted and chaos reigned. Yet, the jester was far from a uniquely European phenomenon. Across the globe, jesters appeared at the courts of rulers in Asia, Africa, and beyond. So, their emergence was an independent development, reflecting humanity's universal need for laughter, satire, and subversion of systems of power. Jesters were expected to be consummate performers, skilled in music, song, juggling, and, of course, humor. In many ways, theirs was the first secular, cultural industry profession. This required talent and wit. Jesters could be drawn from common folk or the nobility. Notably, some were women like Madame d'Or, a 15th-century French jester renowned for her acrobatics, beauty, and athleticism. Despite her diminutive stature, physical appearance also played a role. Europe's periodic fascination with the grotesque meant that jesters with physical abnormalities, such as dwarfism, were often sought after. While many jesters earned their keep in silver coins, others received land rewards. For instance, Roland the Farter was granted a manor in Suffolk in exchange for his annual Christmas performance for King Henry II of England. Yet not all jesters lived so grandly. Many resided at court simply for food and shelter, their performances a modest trade for daily sustenance. Outside the glittering halls of royal banquets, the jester's life was often one of practical work and versatility. In quieter times, the clever and educated jesters were entrusted with roles such as household management or bookkeeping, handling the accounts of the very nobles they amused. Others were assigned more humble tasks, such as tending to animals. Jamie Flyman, an 18th-century Scottish jester, exemplifies this duality. A source of mirth at court, he was also a cowherd and guardian of geese, blending his art with the practicalities of farm life. In times of war, however, the jester's role took on a more dramatic and sometimes dangerous dimension. On the battlefield, they became morale boosters, walking ahead of the troops to sing, jest, and mock the enemy. Their sharp wit could provoke enemy soldiers into anger so great that they abandoned discipline, rushing at the joker in disarray and inadvertently sowing chaos in their own ranks. In such moments, the jester's humor became a weapon, capable of turning the tide of battle. Even more perilous were the missions jesters undertook as messengers. In especially delicate situations, they replaced heralds, carrying messages into enemy camps. Though it was generally considered bad form to harm a jester or messenger, such missions were fraught with risk. At court, a talented jester could occasionally become the alter ego of the lord. His antics and chatter often served as a form of indirect criticism or satire, voicing grievances, complaints, or risky ideas that others dared not express openly. However, no jester was entirely immune to punishment, and their influence should not be exaggerated. Their position depended entirely on the tolerance and whims of their master. Nevertheless, the stories of individual jesters reveal the remarkable talents and intellects of these figures. Will Sommers, the court jester to King Henry VIII of England, was famed for his sharp wit and boldness, despite being considered a natural fool, a term for those thought to have intellectual disabilities. His clever sayings were even quoted in the Art of Rhetorique, a testament to his cultural impact. Similarly, Stańczyk, the Polish jester who served 4 kings, became a symbol of patriotic wisdom, fearlessly criticizing his rulers while embodying the skepticism of the nation. Chicot, favorite jester of French King Henry III, was no simple entertainer. He strode the halls of power with a rapier at his side, speaking to the king with a candor that few dared to imitate. He was not merely a purveyor of wit, but a man of action. In 1591, under the reign of Henry IV, Chicot demonstrated the full extent of his audacity and cunning by capturing Prince Henri of Lorraine, the formidable commander of the Catholic League. Here was a jester who wielded both words and swords with equal skill. Equally striking is the story of Petrushka, the favorite jester of the Russian Empress Anne. Originally a violinist from Naples, Petrushka's journey from musician to court entertainer. He staged elaborate mock battles to amuse the empress and her courtiers, transforming humor into a form of theatrical spectacle. The character of Petrushka became a beloved figure in Russian folk puppet theater, ensuring that his humor continued to resonate with the masses long after the man himself had faded into history. By the 17th century, however, the golden age of the court jester was drawing to a close. The profession, once a vital part of royal courts, was gradually supplanted by the rise of professional actors and comedians. With the advent of theater troupes and more formalized modes of entertainment, the jester's unique space within the corridors of power began to disappear. Yet the spirit of the jester refused to vanish entirely. Indeed, does it not seem that many modern politicians have taken up the mantle of the jester? Their antics, bluster, and theatrical performances on the world stage remind us that while the profession may have declined, its essence lingers on, shaping the way we understand modern political power.
If you enjoy our short informative video, put your like and subscribe. Do not miss our upcoming videos. We may be a bit awkward, but we always manage to have a good time and find joy in the little things.